they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I've never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in.
Lesson 2. Developing Republican Government.
The founders were influenced by many ancient thoughts and ideas, from Roman perspectives of classical government to Judeo-Christian ideas of moral obligation. In this lesson, you will learn how the ancient world influenced modern ideas of civil rights.
Many public buildings used in our capital and other government buildings are made in the classical style. This is used as a throwback to ancient times because many of the ideas our founding fathers used came from these times. Probably the biggest influence on the founders were the Romans. The Romans gave our fathers the idea of the common good, that is, what is best for the entire society. The theory that came out of this is called classical republicanism.
The classical republics demanded that their citizens have a high degree of civic virtue. A person with civic virtue is one that sets aside personal interest for the common good. Today we might describe civic virtue as public spiritedness.
Citizens were expected to fully participate in the government and to be dedicated to the common good. They had restrictions on their freedoms, such as they were not allowed to, or they were discouraged from making money, caring for their families, reading, or thinking about things that had nothing to do with the government. They had these restrictions because the government felt if they had freedoms, they would become unreliable and they wouldn't be fully dedicated to the common good.
To make sure that citizens participated in the government, the classical republics often limited individual rights. There was little concern with the protection of individuals' privacy, freedom, or the freedom of religion.
Now, some citizens' rights were necessary. They were necessary for the government to run, such as the right to vote, the right to express opinions or beliefs about the government, and of course the right to serve public office.
Classical Republicans believed that a government would only work in small, uniform communities. This is necessary so that people would care for and know each other. A great deal of diversity was not ever accepted.
Slam dunk.
Yeah!
They also believed that if people differed greatly, they would divide into small groups called factions, rather than promote the common good. Basically, they believed that diversity was bad for the government, and to prevent diversity, they believed that the community should only have one official religion by which everybody had to conform.
Alley-oop. Goal. Ah, screw it.
Belong to a religious tradition thousands of years old, Judeo-Christianity. The Judeo-Christian world view holds that the world was created by one God. The Declaration of Independence acknowledges a creator. The founders' belief in Judeo-Christianity helped develop their appreciation of individual rights and belief in the ideals of justice and liberty.
During the medieval period, people did not strive to make progress. Despite this, the cities grew and prospered. Commerce flourished, cities grew, and people traveled more. In this period, known as the Renaissance, nation-states began to form. The term Renaissance means rebirth. This period of time is called the Renaissance because there is a rebirth of intellectual life. In many areas of life, greater importance was placed on the individual rather than the groups the individual was grown into. This contributes to the development of individual rights.
The entire Renaissance is based upon the Enlightenment, or education that results in understanding and spread of knowledge that is understood in other cultures such as Hinduism and Buddhism as nirvana, the beatitude that transcends the cycle of reincarnation characterized by the extinction of desire and suffering and the individual conscience. This is what helped shape us today. The Renaissance and how it changed our government. It led to changes in art, politics, science, and exploration. Cities grew and prospered during the Renaissance, and rulers learned to tax the people. Trade grew between city-states and other countries. As trade in goods increased, trade in ideas grew also. The contact between cultures was in some part due to the Crusades during the 11th century. Commerce and trade soon moved inland along the major routes of trade. The Renaissance is generally accepted to have started in Italy. Italian cities became important as trade centers and as commercial centers. This wealth helped sustain the political and social changes that were occurring at the time. After the collapse of the Roman Empire around 500 AD, the only unifying force remaining was the Roman Catholic Church. Outside invasions declined and the rulers began to consolidate their power and concentrate on self-preservation.
Oh wait, it's mine. No, wait.
Go.
Wait, now?
Yes.
All right.
Families reading or thinking about ideas that had nothing to do with the government. But, God. On their freedoms, because the government felt that if they did have these freedoms, they would become unreliable and,
Hello. Hey, hurry up.
Republicans believe that a government will only work in small, uniform communities.
The Judeo-Christian worldview holds that the world was created by one God. The Declaration of Independence acknowledges our Creator. The founders' belief in Judeo-Christianity helped develop their appreciation of individual rights and belief in the ideals of justice and liberty.